My name is Mikhail Borysov. I was executed on February 28, 1938 by the Stalin regime accused of counter-revolutionary activities. I want to read you my letter, the one I wrote to Stalin, which of course never arrived.
To the Central Committee of the Soviet Communist Party. To Comrade Stalin, to the Chairman of the Supreme Soviet, Kalinin, to the Party Control Commission, from expelled party member since 1920, Mikhail Konstantinovich Borysov, by the order of the former Secretary of the Kursk Regional Committee, the bandit Sheboldayev, and Putnin, the party committee at the Regional Committee of the Soviet Communist Party on February 10, 1937, expelled me from the party on monstrous charges without specific evidence, accusing me of ties with the Trotskyist Yarylov and of aiding his reinstatement in the party. My connection consisted of the fact that Yarylov, in 1934 and until August 1935, served as my deputy in the Livestock Management Department of the Regional Livestock Administration, where I had been appointed in 1934. In August, Yarylov was already working there as the acting head of the Livestock Department. At the same time, he was a member of the party committee and later became the secretary of the party committee. In his work, neither I nor the entire party organization noticed any counter-revolutionary activity. In August 1935, I was transferred to work as an assistant to the first secretary of the Kursk Regional Committee, where I worked until my expulsion. Yarylov, expelled from the party during an inspection by the Regional Committee Bureau, was reinstated in 1936, and I had no involvement in his reinstatement. Following my expulsion from the party, I was arrested on February 26, 1937, without being given an opportunity to appeal to higher party authorities. The accusation presented by the Kursk People's Commissariat for Internal Affairs, NKVD, alleged that I was a member of an unknown to me counter-revolutionary Trotskyist regional organization. Based on this wild fabrication concocted by provocateurs, NKVD investigators Savage, Kocherginsky, Voznesensky, Budayev, and Lebedev accused me, claiming that I had, with counter-revolutionary intentions, created a harmful plan for livestock development in 1935 to incite dissatisfaction among collective farmers and to organize an uprising against Soviet power, sabotage breeding livestock records, obstruct livestock construction, and misuse 200,000 rubles, which were supposedly allocated for livestock, for unknown counter-revolutionary purposes. These vile fabrications by the provocateurs were forced upon me to sign and admit guilt. When I refused, they began using coarse abuse and inflicted unheard-of insults, threatening to use further physical torture. This atmosphere, which had nothing in common with Bolshevism or the Soviet socialist system, for whose triumph I had fought for 20 years, drove me out of my normal mental state, and I signed this entire vile concoction. This chaos fabricated by the aforementioned group of investigators. All my attempts and persistent requests to appeal to party and Soviet authorities against this inhumane mockery were in vain. I was denied paper, and if I managed to obtain it by chance, it did not reach the investigators, and the mockery only intensified. From April 16, 1937, the interrogations stopped until February 14, 1938, when I was summoned and informed that the case was closed, and I was presented with charges under Article 58, Lit. 11, 7, and 8, without allowing me to review the evidence upon which these accusations were based, without familiarizing me with the case. Thus, revolutionary justice was grossly violated once again. My basic rights as a Soviet citizen were denied, condemning me to death for crimes I did not commit, depriving me of the right to defend myself. I have never been an enemy of the people, and have never joined any opposition within the party, let alone counter-revolutionaries. As a worker and a descendant of a worker's family, beginning from the October barricades in Moscow and on the armed fronts against the White Guards, I fought for the triumph of socialism. I devoted 20 years of my best life to the cause of my beloved party and worked honestly wherever the party sent me. I was never a shirker. Despite difficulties and together with my family, I devoted all my strength to the great cause of the Lenin-Stalin party. I asked the highest party and Soviet authorities, and you personally, Comrade Stalin, to intervene in my case, assigning an investigation into the slanderous provocation fabricated against me, aimed at destroying the Bolshevik cadres. I asked to remove this shameful and undeserved label of enemy of the people, to release me from unjust imprisonment, and to return me to life and work in the party, in which I was raised, grew, and worked, the purpose of my entire life. The decision of the plenum of the Central Committee of the Soviet Communist Party gave me the strength to endure all hardships and confidence that the party of the great Lenin and Stalin will free me from the clutches of careerist provocateurs, whose victim I have become. 28.02.1938, Kursk Prison, Mikhail Borysov.